My last flight ended up in a crash, and I ended up breaking some of these parts here. This is the part that broke on the landing gear support, and as you can see here, this is all plastic. The only metal part is the motor socket here. This is all plastic, and that broke, and this part is glued to the body. The body has these slots. It's a very nice design. I like the way they slided that and inserted this part with the glue that you get in the kit. And if this was intact, I could put that back on. But I actually ended up splitting the body in half to remove this, and it's quite it's not that difficult, but it does take a little time to remove the body, and if you want to do it cleanly, you have to just take your time and cut in the middle of the body little by little and split it as you're cutting the two halves apart. So anyway, this is the part that broke, and of course I can get a new replacement part or make my own, but in this case I think I'm going to make my own. It'll be a lot more stronger, and it'll have a little more meat to the section here. So so that'll be a nice upgrade. The part is as is by design. It's fairly strong. I mean, I've gone through quite a number of crashes, and this section has held up very well. So it's a very nice setup. But I just think I can make it a little better by using different materials and coming up with my own setup here, which I've done this similar stuff like this in my own models, not only for autogyros but for airplanes. And the good thing about this part is that it's integral with a motor mount. It's one piece, landing gear and motor mount in one piece, and it just you just wrap the body around it. Very nice. So I'm going to try to stay with the same design convention. There's the body, split in half, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier. Basically, we can see how this model was assembled here. It was well assembled, well glued. So it took a little effort, to separate these parts from this area in particular, because the glue is attached to not only to the foam part but also to the boom and to the sleeves for the control rods that control the elevator and rudder. But the foam part, I mean, the last crash I had was a nosedive that came straight down on the motor, and that's why the motor shaft bent slightly at the front. And I'm very happy with the molded parts. I really like these molded parts because they're able to hold up to a lot of abuse. I mean, you can see the creases here from the stress. You can see the stress lines here from the impact that this model has gone through the testing of not only the Mia microfly parts, but also a little bit of a pilot error, and the common mistakes that we all make as model enthusiasts. So once the landing gear bracket is repaired, and actually it's just going to be upgraded with my own parts, I'm going to fit it right back into this body, and this model should be ready to go fly again. Fortunately, nothing has happened to these sections here, to the side masts, and and I removed the gearbox, of course, the auto start feature. I think I'm gonna keep the auto start out of this model. I mean, I do like the convenience of having an auto start, but I mean, this model spins really well with just by hand and a brisk walk. And you can just toss it by hand, and I think I prefer that. But after so many flights and tests and things that I've done, I think I prefer that to the to having the auto start feature and just having to take this apart every time the auto start acts up. So that's one of the things that I think I'm going to keep out of the model. And I think people that probably have the Auto G will probably agree with me that the auto start is, it's a nice detail, it's a nice feature, it works, but I think it's a little more, I don't know, just my opinion, the simpler the model is, the easier to maintain and the less headaches you have. I do like the auto start for the convenience. What I don't like is the fact that it's embedded here into the model, and you have to work the parts every time you need to remove that in maintenance and repair it if you need to, as I did in my other video. So I don't like that hassle of having to go back and remove all these parts. And on top of that, with the existing auto start controller switch, it just takes a lot of room inside the body, which is very compact. And so just to avoid all those details, I'm just going to keep it simple. And I think it'll be a lot lighter too, and a lot smoother, because the gearbox through the shaft and all the other components that are attached to the auto start feature do rub a little bit of smoothness. They do have some friction there. It's not a lot, but if you're a minimalist or simplistic, you'll want to keep those things out. So that's going to be next. This will give me a chance. Also, I removed the decals from the crash, and I just want to show the type of decal that you're getting here. I mean, look at this decal. It's almost intact. Yeah, it's got the crease marks because this model took a heavy hit right here, and this was bent. I just rebent it back. And flattened this area out, but it took quite a hit. I thought for sure this part would crack here and break, but it didn't. And so that's the decal, the original decal, racer decals, the yellow one that I peeled off. I mean, I can reuse this. It's still quite reusable. It just has some crease marks on the decal. And I think it's going to give me this rework is going to give me an opportunity to try some new designs, and you guys can see those designs. All these designs that I'm making are with the intention of making the model more visible. That's the purpose of yeah, they are spiffy, but they do help with making the model more visually, not only more visually appealing, but it's a reference. One of these things with the autogyros is that you lose orientation very easily if the model is not painted or the model doesn't have graphics that assist the pilot's controlling model from the ground. So we'll do that. Do some new graphics, do some new parts, and of course the battery plate was removed to do this, to remove the broken parts, the motor and the landing gear socket. So the MIA plate was intact from all this, but it also has helped to reinforce this whole section here. I mean, an impact from the nose is the last impact that I had was very, very hard, and if it bent the shaft, and then these motors are very the motors is very beefy and hefty. I mean, if it bent the shaft, without any reinforcement here, you're bound to break the section here. So the MIA landing gear reinforcement battery and camera mount plate did help a great deal here, reinforce the landing gear, so it helped to keep the bottom section almost intact here. There's a little crack, but that happened before I put the MIA reinforcement plate here. So most of the impact was taken by the motor here, but it did hit also with the landing gear. The whole front section came down to the ground. It didn't bend the landing gear a little bit on the corners here, and it was just a matter of rebending that, and it's back in the original plastic molded mount that has broken at the motor socket end. So stay tuned for the rebuilt Auto G.